Welcome to the channel, I'm Amedio602, and today we're going to be doing a product review of the Dyplay Bluetooth soundbar. This soundbar supports HDMI, Optic, 3.5mm auxiliary input, SD card, and USB. A huge shout out to Dyplay, and thank you very much for sending this product to me so that we can do a product review on it. By the way, if you are interested in purchasing this soundbar, I have an Amazon affiliate link in the description down below. I'm going to stay quiet throughout most of the unboxing, but I am going to pop in with little pieces of information here and there. As you can see right here, the top is a very shiny black, and those little specks that you see on the top and the bottom, those are just packing material, those wipe right off. You can also see on the side here, we've got 4 different buttons. Those buttons control the power, the input, and the volume up and down. You've also got all the inputs very clearly labeled on the back, and you can also mount this to the wall using the holes on the back of the unit. The bottom of the unit has some rubber feet so that it doesn't slip on your desk or wherever you choose to put it. As you can see, the soundbar comes with all the cables you might need. You've got HDMI, optical, and a 3.5mm aux cable. Now let's take some measurements. And it also includes a nice little remote control. One minor point about the remote control, according to the user manual, the remote control needs to be pointed at the center of the soundbar, and for me, I found that my remote control actually works a lot better if I just point it at the little light on the side, so that's one thing to keep in mind. We are going to be testing the Dyplay soundbar here. This is an older TV, so you may or may not be able to tell, we've got the aux plugged in the back here, and that's plugged into the headphone jack on the back of the TV. That light right there changes color based on which mode you're in. And we're just going to go ahead and hit play here. Okay, so that's what it sounds like with the soundbar. We're going to unplug that headphone jack. Turn it off. You can see the LED turns red there. That means it's off. And we're going to play that same sound bite from the TV speakers. Okay, so there you can tell the difference, and you can see what it, you can hear what it sounds like to use the auxiliary input. I have a USB drive here. This is formatted in FAT32. Just plug it in the back. Turn on the soundbar.
Lion.
Press the USB button on the remote, or on the side there is a change source button. You can use either one.
USB.
We missed the beginning of that, so let's play it back again. This actually will repeat in USB mode, so it'll just loop through whatever audio tracks you have on your USB device. All right, we're back. I had to finagle the SD card mode a little bit here. So on the back of this, we've got power, and then there's a label right here. It says TF. It's maybe a little bit hard to read. We can try to zoom in on that. The TF is actually for a MicroSD card, which is one of these really small SD cards. It's about the size of your thumbnail. And I had an 8 gig SD card, micro SD card, just laying around. All I did was I took an MP3 file and just drag and dropped it onto the root of the drive. And you have to plug the card in. It's a little bit hard to get plugged in with the power cable here. So I would recommend disconnecting the power cable. You can also see I've got optical and HDMI plugged in, and things get really tight on the back of this right here once you've got a few things plugged in. So you might have to unplug some of the cables, plug in different cables. And HDMI has me a little bit concerned because if you had an HDMI cable with a really thick end here, it might not fit, it might be real close, but I'm using the HDMI cable that they supplied, and that one works fine, so no worries there. As for playing media off of an SD card, it's just like playing off of a USB stick. You turn on the system, which you actually do have to point the remote control at it for that to work.
SD card mode.
Pushing TF right there. I went ahead and muted it. If you push the TF button, that's what actually activates SD card mode. And again, just like with USB mode, it does wrap around and just play indefinitely. And of course, the volume controls work. I noticed there are, I believe, 15 or 16 different volume settings. And if you get volume all the way down to the bottom and you try to go down farther, this little light will flash red to let you know that you're already down as far as you can go. And likewise, if you turn the volume all the way up, it's going to get a little loud here. You could see there once I got all the way to maximum volume, it would start to flash the red light. So really nice that it does tell you when you've already reached max volume. With this soundbar, I don't think you'll ever want to listen to it at max volume because it gets really, really loud. Now, maybe if you're a couple rooms away or if you're having a party or something like that, maybe you would want to do that. Just to try to zoom in a little bit and show you what I was talking about here with the SD card. You can see it's right here. It's sticking out now, so I actually had to get a pair of scissors to push that in to get the card to eject itself. And it plugs in this way. So it plugs in with the connectors facing you, which is a little bit, it's backward from what I would expect. And it's really hard to get it in and out of there once you do it. So if you're going to be changing your media quite regularly, I would definitely recommend USB over the SD card. There are 3 other connection types that I haven't talked about very much in this video. First up is Bluetooth, and Bluetooth worked fine. I was able to connect very quickly from my iPhone. You do have to turn the speaker on and off, and of course from the phone you can disable the speaker and go back to your regular iPhone speakers. No major issues with Bluetooth. Everything worked, everything sounded good. I really like that I can use the remote control to control the volume in addition to being able to control it with the phone. The only minor thing that I saw with Bluetooth was sometimes when I would disconnect from the Dyplay speaker, it would reconnect itself. Not a big deal though, you just turn the speaker off when you're not using it and you won't have that problem. Second up, we've got the optical connection. I didn't try that at all, so I assume it works. I assume it sounds just as good as the USB, the SD card, the aux in, and everything else. The final input I'd like to talk about is HDMI. I had trouble getting HDMI to work with my TV. Now, I was using a different HDMI cord than the one they supplied just because I needed one that was longer in order to test, so I was not able to test HDMI. As far as the pros, you've got tons of different kinds of input. You can play your audio off of a USB stick, you can play your audio off of an SD card, you can use HDMI, you can use optical, or you can use aux in to listen to just about anything that you want. So that's a huge plus for this soundbar. Second, you've also got the volume. This soundbar can get really loud. So from my basement, I'm able to hear this sound from the soundbar. I can play my music, I can hear it all the way throughout the first floor of the house, no problem. I also really like the remote control on this soundbar. It lets me power the soundbar up from across the room and switch modes and change volume. I can also see from the light on the front of the soundbar what mode I'm in and also whether I've reached the max or the minimum volume, and that's really nice too. Once again, thank you very much to Dyplay for sponsoring today's video. I really appreciate the soundbar, and I've integrated it into my setup with the auxiliary input coming out of my streaming PC. If you have any other questions about this soundbar, feel free to ask me in the comments down below and I'll answer as many as I can. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and drop a like if you enjoyed today's video. And as always, thank you very much for watching.